That's for sure. And we need to see that.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
He's a smart young dude. He understands the inner working mechanisms of what's expected of him to survive in this league, not just today, but for a long time, and to put himself also in a position financially that we can only dream of. So he knows what he needs to do. But when you've spent your whole athletic career playing the game one way, it's hard to make that change, man. It's hard. But you have to decide, how bad do you want the bigger picture?
Yes.
How bad do you want it?
All right. First, let me pass this along. Andre Dillard was back at practice today, guys. Things got a little chippy yesterday, and my man was fired up. You're muted, Gunner. But he was back at it today. So
was he swinging at anybody today?
No fights reported. Practice is over, so we got through it without any Andre Dillard fights. So yes, it was. I guess that makes it a successful day. Andre didn't. I don't mind. Like I like that the guy's fired up enough. I just hope he's kind of under control. There's something else going on there, but I don't mind that guys get a little chippy. That's okay. I mean,
it is okay. You need that. You need that. I mean, that fire, man. Bro, I'll tell you what, man. My rookie year, every single of the rookies on offense hated Bill Romanowski.
I'm not surprised. That's not a shocker. Yeah.
We could not stand Bill Romanowski. So he would always try to pick on Fred McCrary and
his running back.
Yeah, Fred McCrary. He was the fullback. And also, who was my other running back from? They went to the same school. One went third round, one went fourth round. What was his name? Oh, my goodness. Kevin Bowie.
Oh, yeah.
He would always pick on them on 9-on-7. So one day we just had enough of it. We with team practice. We said, look, man, if he does anything out, and we got to understand Bill Romanowski, he didn't have it all, man. He had a screw loose. He would tape he would tape his pads for practice. Usually just tape your pads, your shoulder pads to your jersey. You only do that in games. Well, he would tape it in practice. That's how intense he was. Well, we just had enough, man. It's like week 14. We just had enough. He turns around, he catches, he hits Kevin Bowie, tackles through the ground, stood over him, like kind of kicked him.
Oh.
I came from looking right in front. I just looked right at him. I didn't come from the side of it. I went right at him, and hit him right in the mouth. Boom!
Right.
Knocked him on the ground. Kevin jumped on top of him. Fred jumped on top of him. Chris T. Jones jumped on top of him. Freddie Solomon. We whooped his ass. And everybody watched. Nobody came to his defense. Nobody on defense. Finally, Coach Ray Rose, hey, cut it out now. And we stopped. But everybody watched us whoop his ass. And he didn't get up talking crazy or anything. He just got up, brushed himself off, and went back to the huddle.
Barry, did you know in 03, he got into a fight with one of his teammates, Marcus Williams, during a scrimmage?
Yep.
And basically crushed his eye socket, and the guy had to retire. And Williams sued him for $3.4 million.
Wow.
Basically alleging road rage. He got $340,000 out of it. But yeah, man, there was a lot going on.
How do you go from $3.4 million to $340,000? How do you settle? You ended a dude's career.
Yeah.
Right. You know how much money
how's that possible?
I hear you. I hear you.
We whooped his. I mean, we beat the snot out of him, bro.
Yeah.
And everybody watched. The coaches let it go on for a minute too. It's not like they just stopped it. You know what I'm saying? Vic. What was Vic's last name? I forget Vic's.
One of your
Joe
coaches?
Vic. Joe Vic. Yeah, Joe Vic. Oh. The linebacker coach was Joe Vic.
Joe Vic.
Yeah.
Joe Vic.
Vic. V-I-T-T.
Yeah, V-I-T-T.
Joe Vic. Yeah.
Yep.
Joe Vic sat there and watched us too. Emmett Thomas sat there. He was the defensive coordinator. He let us do it too. Everybody just sat there and watched. We whooped him something good. And after we finished, we stood over him. Come on, let's get back to practice. We moved the drill over. Went back to practice.
Oh, my God.
He walked back to the huddle. Needs to say he didn't say nothing to anybody else after that.
I got you. All right. So back to what we were saying before the timeout. So I thought, Shane Steichen, interesting words. And I think it's something a lot of us, think about, because you want to see, we know it. Let me be clear that Jalen Hurts has to be a better passer. He's got to be a better passer. It's a passing league. You win passing the ball. And he wasn't good enough last year, in part, maybe because he didn't have enough, weapons, but in part because he just wasn't good enough. So you go into this season hoping he worked on some of his deficiencies, and you hope the offense can cater to him where he can be a better thrower for sure. But there is also something he's got magic in those legs, man, and he can do some things that other quarterbacks can't do. He can get out of jams. He can make plays that there's a couple, Lamar and a few others, but not many can do what he does. And there's a fine line because they sort of tried to do this with Donovan, I think, to an extent, maybe with Randall a little bit early in their careers, where you don't want him to altogether abandon something that he does great and just become this guy where he's, oh my God, I got to stay in the pocket and be a statue. Nobody wants that. And Shane Steichen said, we don't want to take away, his magic powers or whatever he said, his superpowers. So I'll pose this to you guys. I'll pose it to our chat. I'll pose it to everybody listening, everybody streaming. By the way, keep hitting that like button. We see we got a lot of people watching. Smash it. I'll start with you, Gunnar, on that. Where's the line drawn? How careful do you have to be here with not trying to take that other part away from him?
That's an extremely fine line, because first and foremost, your ulterior motive is to make him a better overall quarterback in the National Football League. But let's face it, as you have said time and time again, Rob, and we've talked about, passing is the key. Accurate passing, high percentage, high volume touchdowns, low volume interceptions is the key to success for the big money quarterbacks in the National Football League. But when you talk about the Lamar Allens, and I'll even toss in a Josh Allen, because Josh Allen will take off and run in a minute when he has to.
Yep.
But I think you have to make his pocket presence that much better first. The fact that we know, and the message is out on him that he will take off on you, scares defenses initially to begin with, because you're outside contained, whether it's that edge rusher, that outside backer, or corner or safety. They have to keep at least a half an eye on the line of scrimmage at all times, because you never know when he's just going to step up and take off and run. But there's a part of me that also says, when you were the leading rusher on your team last year, I don't want to see you end up being the next RG3. This dude, he would run quicker than he would pass. And what happened? Severe knee injuries. Now he's a habitual backup. This dude could have been like that. He could have been Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's out of football.
He was backing up.
He's a broadcaster.
He's at ESPN.
Last 2 years, yeah.
Okay, so up until that, he was a backup with the Ravens. He had floated around. He was a backup. He went from being this high-profile, high draft pick to just trying to hang on for dear life. And I don't want to see Jalen Hurts end up like that. And I believe Jalen Hurts will be smarter than that. But the coach is right. You don't want to take away a certain dynamic from his game. Because if you handcuff him, then you're handcuffing your overall offense and the overall structure of your offense.
Mm-hmm. Barrett?
I've seen it happen too many times before. I mean, I can remember talking to Randall, and Randall's like, "No, there's no way that he takes, they take this game out of me, because this is how I work." And he didn't stop doing it until he wanted to stop running around in the pocket. I can remember, the big thing with, like, my rookie year with Randall was, you have to learn the offense. You have to play within the offense. The West Coast offense is a lot different than what you've been doing. The West Coast offense is a lot of on-time throwing. To go where the ball's supposed to go. 3-22 watch stick nod. It's got to go to the tight end on the nod route. You got to understand, and two-jet all go. We're trying to hit the seam route in the middle of the field. And we just, he just never went in and totally bought into it. So he stayed that type of quarterback, run around type of quarterback, until he got to Minnesota. Then he became a drop back quarterback, and his career got even better. Then you look at a guy like McNabb. McNabb turned around, and he wanted to be he didn't want to be a drop back, a run around quarterback. He wanted to be known as a pocket passer, to the detriment of really his career at the time. He took a step back instead of taking a step forward. Then when he turned around and embraced it, that's when they ran off those 5, championship games in a row. So you don't want to do that. Then Mike Vick was the same way. You can't take away what they do best. You can enhance what they do best, but it makes sure they play within the framework of what the offense is trying to make them do.
Yeah.
And, you just got to call plays that customize to their skill set also. I know a lot of coaches, they just know their system, and their system, if you can't play their system, you can't play. I love the fact that Shane Steichen understands that I have to make sure that I highlight what he does best, but put it in an offense that can help the team take it to another level.
Yeah.
I think he gets it. Steichen gets it.
Well said, Barrett and Derek. Look, I think there's role models. I think Russell Wilson's a great one, who you can pattern your game after to an extent. I think there's other guys who have Josh Allen, who you brought up, Derek, is a good example too. But I think priority one has to be if it's a pass play, advancing the ball down the field, with your arm. If it's not there, look, nobody wants you to sit there and get killed in the pocket, man. That's the last thing you want. And whether that's taking off, or just buying yourself time with your ability, your athletic ability, man. Yeah, that's got to be there.
It's a feather in his cap,
Yeah.
And defenses know too. All right, we got him now because he doesn't want to be a drop back quarterback. We know where he's going to be at. As opposed to a defense said, "Oh man, we got to rush this guy correctly. We can't let him out the pocket."
Right.
We got to keep a spy in. Once you're keeping a spy in, that's allocating resources. It's allocating resources to one guy, and now you open up everywhere else on the field. It's just better to have that little feather in your cap that you can always go back to. You know what I'm saying? Like my pops always told me, never go anywhere without $5 in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So everywhere I go, I have $5, at least $5 in my pocket. Because if I'm going to the bridge, I got $5 to get over that bridge. You know what I'm saying? But this is even before tolls or anything. Wherever I went, I had $5 in my pocket. So
have you guys ever? That is the worst feeling in the world. Not to get. I once did a radio remote in South Jersey. I remember it was a Monday night. I did it at like Adelphia. You guys, Adelphia restaurant.
Adelphia, right on the corner for me. Yeah.
I did it with John Runyon, and I'm driving back to the station. I had to go back to WIP for something, and I'm coming up on the bridge, and I realized this is before Easy Pass, or at least I didn't have Easy Pass. I'm like, I don't have a penny. I don't have a dime. What the hell am I going to do here? So I keep a little cup of like change. And I start panicking, like getting nickels out and dimes out. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I didn't have enough. So the guy at the toll booth is like, all right, pull over to the side. And I'm thinking like, here we go. I'm going to get this big fine and all this other stuff. Thank God the cop or the transit authority. What are they called? I'm drawing a blank now.
That's transit authority. Yeah.
New Jersey Transit people.
Yep.
The guy had a heart. I was like, dude, I'm not trying to scam the system. I'll give you my address. I'll send you a check. I don't have any money. And he was like, all right, I'll let you go this time. Like, I'll give you a break. But, dude, you gotta have like you said, $5 in your car somewhere. Just stick it in your console or something. But that, if you ever gone through that, it's like, it is panic time when you're pulling.
I'll tell you one better than that. Today, I had to cuss my son out, man.
Here we go.
Yeah.
He's borrowed my truck. He's had my truck for the past month. I've got 3 tickets right now. And I called him. I said, dude, what's going on? I said, we spent what? I said, dude, you got 3 tickets, man. And it's $5, man. But the $5 turns into is $20 for this.
40.
It ends up being $66.
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
So $5 is gonna cost you $66, man. I'm like, dude, why would you? Well, I didn't have $5. I didn't stay your ass in Jersey.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Don't go across the bridge.
Yep.
I mean, he did in him logically in his age to him it's logical. Oh, my dad's gonna pay for it. No.
Yep.
You're paying for this, son.
Yep.
So right now you owe me whatever 3 times 66 is.
Yeah. Plus the damn gas. Plus the gas.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
I know.
I'm hot as fish grease. This just happened.
Yeah.
I just opened it up just now. And of course my wife tried to hide it from me. No, that's her baby. That's her baby boy.
Yeah, you get that too, huh? That the mom always steps in and protect the son.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I get that all the time.
First thing my dad would have done, you're done with the car or truck. You're
right.
done.
I'm telling you, bring my stuff back.
Give me the keys, and you could figure your ass could take the bus or whatever. That's the first thing that would have happened. I'm telling you, man. And then I would have paid every penny of it. There wouldn't have been a cent paid by him.
Of course, Mr. Taz, he works it out. That's $198. Yeah.
Is that with interest? Is that with interest, Mr. Taz? Yeah.
This interest gonna be this right here. That's what interest gonna be.
Knuckle sandwich. Exactly. Oh my God.
Rounded up for $200. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but no, I really do. I think it's and I think Jalen is aware enough and gets it enough where he's not gonna just abandon something that he does so well. You know what I mean? I really don't think that that's going to be the case. But in the same vein, he also knows, and they know, he's got to get better in the passing game. That's for sure. And we need to see that.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
He's a smart young dude. He understands the inner working mechanisms of what's expected of him to survive in this league, not just today, but for a long time, and to put himself also in a position financially that we can only dream of. Yeah. You know, so he knows what he needs to do. But when you've spent your whole athletic career playing the game one way, it's hard to make that change, man. It's hard. But you have to decide, how bad do you want the bigger picture?
Yes.
How bad do you want it? It's like we always hear baseball players talk about how they alter and how comfortable it is initially, but you stay with it. Even though if you don't see the immediate results, you stay with it. Yep. Because you know if your coach has you on the right track, you're going to gain big dividends down the road. Yep. It's the same thing with young quarterbacks. I mean, I don't care if you're the first player taken overall in the draft or the last quarterback taken in the entire draft. You're going to get work. You're going to work on change is a part of your vocabulary from start to finish. Mm-hmm. What you did in college was good enough to get you to this level. Now, because you're playing a much better and a much smarter and a much more physical, faster, volatile clientele, you're going to have to make alterations to be better and to survive. Every player goes through it.
Bro, put it like this. I can remember I had this one set that I would never get beat in. Never get beat. You know what I'm saying? If I use this set
at the college level.
No, at the NFL level. If I use this pass set, nobody could beat me with the exception of Mr. White. Mm-hmm. But that's Mr. White though. But anybody else, I know I could do it, and ironclad, I'd stop it. Yeah, that dude right there. Yep. So I'm playing with the Giants, and this dude, we call him Mouse, Jim McNally. He's one of the best offensive line. They say one of the best offensive line coaches to ever coach. Like his claim to fame, he coached Anthony Munoz. He's the one taught Anthony Munoz. He does the duck walk and all that stuff. So as you know, I get there. I'm learning his technique. And come to start out, I'm getting my ass whooped, crushed in camp. I mean, Strahan is tearing me a new one, but I'm doing exactly what he's telling me to do. Mm-hmm. So eventually, I start getting it. And and we go in there and we play in a game, a preseason game. I'm doing his technique and I get beat. He counted as a plus. Well, it got to a point, towards the end, I'm like, what if they cut me? I'm sitting there getting my butt whooping. They don't know that I'm getting pluses for this duck walk stuff. So I went in and I started destroying people doing my technique. And that was a minus, and a minus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Minuses. But on film, I'm looking like I'm killing people and destroying people. Long story long, I said all that to say I was doing it my way. So if they did cut me, I was going to get them. But
at least you went out on your terms.
Right. So that's a fine line, like you said, between the quarterback and being a guy that can run around. And he said and Jalen even said it. I know I'm gifted at that. I know I can turn it on at any time. Right. But I got to make sure that I try to at least do it within the framework of what they're trying to do, just so I can help this offense out.
You can see that, guys, in multiple sports. I'll give you an example. We're going to talk to Ben Davis at the bottom of the hour here, but Noah Syndergaard talked about how after he had Tommy John, he goes to the Angels, and they tried to change his mechanics up to compensate for him not being able to throw as hard as he was, right? And it didn't really work for him. And he came back here, and the Phillies pitching coaches basically simplified things and said, dude, do what you do best. Let's tweak this, but do what got you here. And he feels a lot more comfortable now than he felt with the Angels. So I think to an extent, you got to be who you are, right? That's what got you there to begin with. It's not to say you can't improve, and obviously you can. Josh Allen's a great example. Josh Allen rookie year compared to that guy we're seeing right now is a completely different, specimen. So there's improvement that's got to be there, but you also have to, you got to stay with your foundation. And Barrett, you're right. I mean, in anything, if you're questioning about, man, if I'm going down my way at least. because you can't live with yourself if you go down taking it some way.
I got a family to feed, man. I had a family to feed. But look, that's what I'm saying right there. Look at my mom.
Where's Mama Brooks? I didn't even see her.
Mama Brooks?
Barrett, he's gonna pay it back.
Oh, jeez. I would have gotten her on. I didn't even see her in the chat section.
No, because
good with seeing her.
Don't think because that's her grandson, so she goes in. Barrett, he's gonna pay it back.
I know. My wife's the same. Like, I know there's stuff where she's just like, she's not telling me when it comes to like money or something like that. And I'm like, I know something's going on here. You don't need everything's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine.
Nothing going on here. Nothing going on
nothing
here.
Nothing to see here. Keep moving. Keep moving.
Anytime I'm about to get on my son for something, my wife steps in like the FBI, man.
Yep.
Well, you have to understand. No, I don't have to understand. I really don't. No, no, I don't. Because, common sense is common sense.
Right.
Okay?
So if you don't pay a toll, you're going to get, a fine and everything else.
Yes.
Right. Like, what would the simple answer, Barrett, is, all right, what would happen if I did that?
Right.
What are we doing?
Exactly.
Who's paying it for me, or who's picking up the tab for me?
Nobody.
And look, I know it's when a kid's 16, 17, they're just starting out with the car. There's things they got to learn. They got to be smarter with. But whatever. You get to a certain age, you're like, dude, you've been driving long enough, man. Like, you got to
25, 28, 30. Come on, man. You're a grown man now. Now, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Now, I had nobody, baby and me when I was coming up.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I
hear you.
Oh, my mom would have broke
We're on the lawn screaming again, but it is what it is.
My mom would have broke my neck. And she talking about he's going to pay it back. Mom, you know he's not going to pay it back.
But the thing is, your mom and your dad would not have given you that kind of leeway. When it's the grandkids, man, it's a whole different story.
I told you my mom was trying to get to heaven. That's what I told y'all. I told y'all that.
Does your son have the money to pay it back?
I don't know. That's not my business.
No, it is your business.
He's going to pay it back.
No, I'm just saying.
Yes, he works.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That is your business because you want your money. So it is your business. Does he have the money to pay it back?
So he gives me the $200, right, D-Gun?
Right.
Come the first of the month. Hey, Dad, can I gotta pay my mortgage, my rent. Let me borrow $200.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And you're gonna give it to him because if you don't give it to him, your wife's gonna give it to him.
Bro, see,
right or wrong?
Now you're getting more
right. Exactly.
Okay.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Exactly right. And then hold on. And then he'll come by here, knowing it's Wednesday night, knowing the trash needs to be taken to the curb. And this dude will not go and put the curb. I'm like, dude, you're at the house right now. Did you take the trash to the curb? I'm waiting for him to say, I don't live here no more, because then I'm gonna say, bruh, don't come here no more.
Barrett, I swear we're living in the same house. I'll park the car. Like, it'll be like, I'll get out of the car and I know they have been in and out, the two of them.
Right.
I know they see the trash can sitting there. I'm like, you guys didn't see that. I saw it. You didn't see it. What trash can? Suddenly they can't see anything.
Right.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Right.
Okay.
My son had the nerve to throw at me one time. I said, look here. I said, look, I know you step in your room a lot. We hardly see you because you work these crazy hours for your job. I get it. You barely come down. When you come down, you don't make much of a mess. He usually eats off a paper plate, doesn't leave a whole lot of mess. I said, but you need to help out more. I said, it's 5 adults here. You got to help out more. He goes, yeah, but I don't come down here much. I said, hold up. You live in a house, right? You ain't paying mortgage, no water, no electricity.
No.
And you gonna tell us, but you eat for free. See.
All right. I'll give you one more that's one of my favorites. My daughter will just take her dirty laundry down to the wash and wash it. And not help, and not go and grab anybody's else. And
have 3 things in the washing machine.
Yeah. Is this how this works? Then you just do yours?
Whole machine full of water for 3 items.
Okay.
Bro, I'll give you something worse than this. My son has the audacity to text my wife, Mom, could you buy some Pringles or something like that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Well, she asked me, Barrett, do you need anything about to order some stuff? I said, what you about to order? You just ordered. Well, Izzy wanted some. I ordered. Whoa. Izzy wanted what?
Man.
So that's not the bad part. Then I come home from work and he's still there.
Right.
And this is back when they had the trade before Philly, in Jersey, you can't get plastic bags no more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This boy would have he would have a bag, a grocery store bag, and shopping in my damn kitchen for stuff to bring to his house. Well, mom bought it for me. I'm not. No.
Barrett,
No.
let me ask you a question. Now, we both know that it's very common for high blood pressure with black men, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I got to a point, and I hear everything you said. I'm like, I'm living my own life,
Right.
I got to a point where I finally said, you know what? I ain't letting these kids kill me. They ain't gonna kill me. No, Now, by me taking that approach, I'm biting the bullet more. Like my daughter and them, supposed to grocery shop every weekend, fill in the gaps, buy some peanut, but get this. Some weekends they don't go. They find out dad's out. Hey, Dad, are you out? Yeah, why? Well, are you near BJ's or Costco? Why? Well, can you get the chips and the peanut butter and some grapes and some oranges for Cruz? And I'm like, you're gonna do it. You got two options. You're gonna sit behind the wheel and talk to yourself while you're driving and end up crashing into a telephone pole.
Yes. Or just
do it.
I know. All right, let's get a timeout. Xander, I'm going to hold off on the read here because I want to get to Ben. So we'll get a quickie here. We'll get Ben as soon as we get back. Ben Davis is going to join us from Cincinnati. See if we had any Skyline chili. See if he indulged in some chili. We'll talk to Ben about that.
Picking on my ears, man.
I know.
Hold on. Then my honors on the chat too.
Oh God!
My honors telling me what I should do too.
Barrett's getting yelled at by his family members.
Yes,
all right, I'm going to save you.
I'm so glad.
Let's get a quickie here.
Getting him.
Yeah, and we'll get to bed when we get back. Don't move. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube.